Firstly, thanks for popping along. If you enjoy SwitchUp, we have a new little channel that we've started this week called SwitchUp Extra. Not very imaginative, but it is going to have various things. It's going to have gameplays on there. We're starting a brand new series where we do like a hot take on a new release, but it's not just Nintendo Switch. You may find other platforms over there as well. You might even find a sale pop up for another region. We really don't know at this stage. So yeah, the links are in the description. SwitchUp Extra. If you want to go subscribe, happy days. If you don't, no worries. Now, loads of you pointed out that I completely forgot to give away the free game last week. I am a man of my word. This week we are giving away 2 copies of games. So these are our 2 winners. Happy days, GG, easy win. If you would like to win a game each and every week, just pop a comment down below. Let me know what games you've been playing. Has your backlog overtaken your house and is now ruling your kingdom? Or in fact, are you winning? Every now and then I see one comment and it's someone who has managed to beat their backlog. And I am so envious. So what are the best games on sale this week? Welp, my name's Mark Walker. Welcome back to SwitchUp. Now let's find out. Kicking off then, we have Ninja Gaiden Ragebound with its first decent discount. It's 20% off, taking it down to £16.79, a lovely little bargain for a game that's just seen its big patch. If you don't watch my series all patched up, please watch it. I like making it. I go back and revisit games after they've had patches to try and give the developers, a bit of encouragement, so to speak. And Ninja Gaiden Ragebound had a big fix. It now runs at 60 frames per second. It's much smoother. It's not perfect, but it is so much better, and you can definitely recommend it now. It's a great game, actually. In fact, I think it's one of the best games we've had in the last couple of months. So picking it up on this sale price, you could do a lot worse. It's published by .emu. Even with a couple of issues, it still holds a Metacritic of 87%. We reviewed it as well, so you can go check that out. But a cracking game. Absolutely loved it. That's Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. That sale goes on until the 16th of October. Next up, we've got Kingdom 2 Crowns. I love these games. Glen and I went to visit the developers at a big expo years ago now when the first one was coming out. And I remember them showing us, it's like a side perspective, real-time strategy game where you're defending your kingdom and gradually building up and recruiting people to advance the defenses and fight for you. And it's, really interestingly designed, but 2 Crowns added in multiplayer. The title kind of gives that away. But it's also had some expansions. I believe the Norse Lands expansion is available, where you get to play as some unique monarchs. Try saying that quickly. Seriously, unique monarch. That's absolutely ridiculous. What price are they asking here? £3.49, an 81% discount here in the UK until October the 23rd. Single player, multiplayer, 85% on Metacritic. Yeah, that is not too shabby, is it? That's a real one right there. Let me know in the comments if you've not played this and you picked it up, because I think you're going to have a real treat of a time. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, one of our best beat-em-ups, and this one actually has 1 to 6 player co-op. With Christmas coming up, I can tell you, as a gamer who has 3 brothers, that we kind of only meet up at Christmas time, all together, well, maybe like, other big holiday moments within the year, but Christmas is the one where you're not doing your work, you can sit down, chill out, and you play games, and this is a great one to enjoy at those kinds of events if you have that kind of setup. 6 of you can grab controllers, you can do the whole split joycon malarkey and play at the same time, and it's just like being a kid again, and that happens so rarely now. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Shredder's Revenge is a quality beat 'em up from the best in the industry at the moment, really. That's its biggest discount, I think, 40% off until the 16th of October. We do have a full review of it on the channel as well. But yeah, it just brings a smile to my face. Just playing this type of game with other people that you want to beat, but realistically, you're just happy to be close to them. It's good. It's a good thing. Which then takes me on to Streets of Rage 4. I have to include it at this price, or I'm pretty sure SwitchUp would come to an end because Glen would protest. It's currently 65% off, £7.87. Yeah, that is such a good price. This has 1 to 4 player co-op, and everything that I said in the last video stands for this. It's another beat 'em up, another classic reimagined. And when I say classic, no, I don't mean it's an older game that's been, remastered. It's literally the classic style for the modern generation, and it works brilliantly. And I also don't mean modern generation in the way that that's used these days. Man, you can't say anything, can you? It's just a quality game that feels like it came straight out of the 90s, but it looks so pretty. It also has an incredible composition. The composers in this are just legends of the industry. One of the best soundtracks, 12 different stages to work through, and enough chicken to shake a... What do you shake a chicken? Like, I don't know, a Nando's takeaway bag or something. Yeah, there's enough of that to shake that at it. It has an 87% Metacritic rating, another that we have a full review of. It does have online play as well, which is nice. Whether or not you'll be able to find people on the Switch ecosystem online, I don't know, maybe. It's the kind of game where it could still have a bit of an online following. The sale for Streets of Rage 4, £7.87 or your regional equivalent until October the 16th. And one that's just come out that we have literally just reviewed is Yooka Replayly, which has a 10% discount as well until October the 16th. And it's fair to say there's only one real issue with the Switch 2 version at the moment, and that's that it's a locked 30 frames per second and it doesn't have a performance mode yet. Now, the developers have spoken about how they will be adding that in and they're working towards it, but they had dev kits so late that wasn't something that was viable for the time frame that they had. And look, I respect that. That's fine. Call a spade, as we say over here. But regardless of that, 30 frames per second, it was absolutely fine. Glen had a good time, really enjoyed it. It's funny because the game is so improved over the original release that it's almost, better in every way. They've doubled the amount of things that you can find. Playtonic have done a great job with it, and it's just nice to have one of these old school games feel so enjoyable, to be honest, and just, a fun game to play. Yooka Replayly, 10% off until October the 16th in all regions. Alright, let's do a UK side only one and then we'll do a US only side. We've got Metal Slug Tactics, another that's seen so many patches since it came out, and I think it was a brilliant way of taking a very famous and well-loved run and gun shooter and turning it into something totally different that still worked. So essentially what you've got is a tactical turn-based roguelite game, but not roguelite in the sense that you're just going out on simple runs. You get to choose where you go within each area, and once you've defeated the boss, then you can move on and you'll unlock new parts of the city, but then you can go straight back to those the next time round. You also unlock new characters. There's vehicles, as you would hope, from Metal Slug, and it still manages to keep that sense of pace, so you can run your troops into cover, spring over it, toss a grenade, all whilst using just normal controller inputs. And that's something that's so hard to do with strategy games, so they really did think carefully about the controls of the experience. We do have a review, so if you want to go check that out to give you a little more insight, then do that. But 35% off until October the 16th for Metal Slug Tactics. Yes, please. Now, it's not America only. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that it's on all platforms, but Wild Guns Reloaded shouldn't be as good as it is. Glen introduced me to this and we played it co-op, and yeah, it's quality. It looks like one of those old light gun games, but there's more to it than that. You can actually evade damage by rolling around. There are boss fights, but they've added in a ton since it first came out as well. It's got new modes. It has a boss rush mode as well. There's a time attack gameplay element to it. And you couldn't have convinced me how good it was until we started playing it on our Friday gaming sessions. It's half price until October the 19th, £8.99, and it does have 1 to 4 player co-op as well, but a really nice loading game. Chuck on a stage, shoot a few things. Before you know it, you've lost a couple of hours, but you finally decided what game you wanted to play, and you've run out of time for it. That awesome Metroidvania that came out, what was it, maybe early 2025, I think. Guns of Fury, I reviewed this on the channel, and man, another one that has that almost Metal Slug feel to it, but is a full-on Metroidvania that has shotguns and pistols, and those are the things that you gradually upgrade. It gives it a really interesting and unique feel in that regard, while still having so many of the elements that you would expect from the genre. Throughout the game, there are over 10 different bosses to fight. There's some destructibility to the environments, and that's how your progression comes in, because you get certain weapons that can blow holes through areas. It includes mechs as well. I mean, it might as well be called Metal Slug, you know, it really could be. Clearly they took inspiration, but it goes to show that that franchise could branch out, couldn't it, into so many different genres. Another with a really good soundtrack, almost worth the price of entry, but great to see a really juicy sale. Guns of Fury, its discount of 30% goes on until October the 22nd. There are a few games better suited to a sales video than something like Europa, on a couple of levels. Firstly, it came out to little fanfare. It was at the end of the life cycle of the first Switch, and it was good, but not amazing. But now it's half price, down to £6.74, by far its cheapest until October the 22nd. I can recommend it. I actually watched my son play through this and he thoroughly enjoyed it. You can kind of glide around these lovely looking environments. It has a Studio Ghibli look to it. Sorry, the person that's gone, it's Ghibli, not Ghibli. It is actually Ghibli, or somewhere in between, because the pronunciation of the Japanese is much better than my pronunciation of... Anyway, the game has you gliding around over these landscapes. You arrived on this planet and it's a place where your father, I think, grew up or lived, and you're trying to like track him down, follow in his footsteps, see what's happened. And to do that, you have to solve environmental puzzles. There's a bit of platforming, but it's the storyline that carries it along for sure. Like, it's that really keeps it going. And the message from your father that the game begins with is, come to the island if you ever get lonely, come here and think of me. And it kind of sets that tone, doesn't it, of, wow, okay, this isn't going to be just go in to defeat some big bad. It's not like that at all. It has that walking sim feel to it at times, but with the jetpack and the gliding around, something quite unique, and it is a good game. Certainly it runs better on Switch 2, but it's okay on Switch 1. It's not really about that, honestly. And for about £6, yeah, a nice little hidden gem there, I think, for a couple of people. The last one I want to recommend of our big price sales, and I'm going to call it a hidden gem, even though it's probably not. Well, it kind of is, because it's only just come out and you might not have heard of it, but it's Absolum. It carries a 10% discount until October the 16th, and it's quality. So I just reviewed this 2 days ago. I gave it 82%, and I'll kind of explain why. So on the face of it, it looks like a standard beat 'em up, doesn't it? But it's actually a roguelite that has a lot in common with some of the most popular in the genre. So you have a hub area, you go out on runs in the sense that you progress through this big world map, but at the end of each area you choose your next path, and sometimes you'll have like specific tasks you have to go to. So you're trying to figure out where to go next, you know, and work your way across the map. Yes, it has its big boss fights, they are pretty brutal, but what I like about this actually is that the combat isn't as straightforward as most beat 'em ups. So for example, you've got a move where you can dodge into the enemy, and that acts as a parry that you can then absolutely dominate them. You also build up this huge power move that you pull ZL and ZR together and it just obliterates them. And then there are these stagger chances that kick in. Throw in the fact that at the end of each area, you get these rituals that are basically your passive upgrade for that run. So fire damage, better speed, more health, all the standard stuff. And yeah, it's really enjoyable, but also has full co-op, off and online. So yeah, it's one that I can recommend, even with a 10% discount. I say even with, that's a decent little discount, isn't it? And that sale goes on until October the 16th. So then we can dance gracefully towards our Savaloy Selection, the games that are unbelievably cheap. I hate this, like they do this in supermarkets, don't they? You kind of get to the end of the shop and you're like, happy days, I've made it to the checkout. I've got my can of pickled gherkins, or whatever it is you've picked up, and that's it. I'm happy. I've only spent £1. Nice one. But then suddenly they start to stick all this nonsense down next to me, and I'm like, hang on, maybe I do need a discount bag of raisins. Yes, that regional coffee is a very good price. I'll take some, thanks. And what's that in the corner of my eye? A Savaloy? Yes, please. And the first of those is Shakedown Hawaii at £2.69 until October the 24th. An absolutely ridiculous price. It offends me how cheap this is. It's an old school GTA style clone, but it's not. It does its own thing, it's got its own humour, it comes from a legendary developer, and it shouldn't be £2. And Pang Adventures shouldn't be £2 as well, well, it's actually £1.79. You look at that and think that art style is proper generic, isn't it? Like, let's be real, it doesn't look that nice. But the game is stupidly addictive. Something so simple. Fire up these things, pop the balloons. Yeah, alright, I remember playing that in the 80s, but it still holds up. And in 2-player co-op, oh yes. Once upon a time, Glen and I held the world record for this game, like the highest score in the world. We held it for about 3 seconds, but it was a glorious 3 seconds. And finally, Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth, just because I'm reading the book at the moment after you lot said I should. And I'm having a whale of a time. It's £1.20 in the EU. Sorry, it's not in the US regions, but it's an old school point-and-click adventure, but you do take direct control of the characters to interact with items. Fully voice acted as well in most languages. Well, that's a terrible thing to say because it isn't most languages, it's English and German, but it does have a little guest appearance by Ken Follett himself, which is very cool. He's actually released a new book about Stonehenge, and from what I understand, it's not quite up to the same standard as this, so that's a bit of a shame. But that's it for this week. If you found yourself a tasty little barjan, happy days. If you want to save yourself more money on your sales, go to switchup.gg. You get 5% whenever you buy your eShop credit on there, and it adds up for sure. I know some people buy all their credit over there and just save themselves an absolute shed load of buns. Thank you to our Patreons, our members. To all of you, hopefully you checked out. We've got a new little channel called SwitchUp Extra. There'll be a link to it in the description. It's going to have a variety of things. We started off with gameplays so that you can just watch raw gameplay on there if you want to of newer games. But we are going to have some voiceover kind of live stuff. So got toying with an idea for a series I think could be quite cool, like an initial impressions series where you get the raw, unedited feedback of a new release. As I say, if you're interested in this channel at all, please do go pop over there and subscribe and do all that fancy stuff. And until next week, have a good one. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!